Oh. We're live. And a lot more comfortable than I was earlier. Now, where's my chair? Chair's slightly in the wrong place. Okay. Move chair. There we go. Here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Amberskies, and my name's Blades. Yeah. Q&A. Q&A. This is number 7 as well. Wow. It'll turn into a rant, most likely, unless somebody asks any proper questions, but hey-ho. In the meantime, if there's no questions, I will just, well, meander through my thoughts from the week. And my thoughts from the week ended with terrain. Terrain. So what were you doing at 3 o'clock this morning, Blades? I was thinking about terrain. Quite a bit, actually. I'm shaking. Okay. So I can do that, can't I? Alrighty. And yeah, this is what I was doing at 3 o'clock this morning, as you do. So, I was looking at different values and value points that you can put on terrain. And it was interesting because I was coming up with some different figures here for the sea level, the land levels, how much that will give you in meters, 15,000 meters, 15,500 meters, which I think is enough. Overall, it sort of progressed, and yeah, design maps progress as required. Yeah, uses center values as reference points, so that would be 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers square. Calculate the borders, put together like a jigsaw, and calculate line across. In other words, just go zing, 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 like a printer. Or snake inwards, which means go around the edge and snake inwards, yeah, to the center. Remember, the center value, all the circle values are known values. 3 generator noise map and fix edges, which interested me a great deal. But does this solve the problems? No, it doesn't. It just gives me information that or design information that I want to help me design terrain. Interesting. Yeah, it is really. No, I better move that up actually. So, what are the kinds of things I want to start start with? A cup of coffee. What a good idea. So start with a cup of coffee. But this is on pen, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Yeah, good. Right. So start point. That's better. I can see it now. Hey, start point. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is doing this in the style of the internet. So going to use an internet design. Because we don't need to redesign the wheel. Thank you. I think I got the frog that time. Yeah. Which means it's internet basically equals a web page and that will be held on a server. Which is fine because we've got a server. And we've got an output window. So all we need is a server and an output window, and then the GUI can go and browse wherever. So the web page equals our output window. That equals our server. And the browser whatever you use is up to you, Firefox or whatever. I think I use Opera now because of the VPN. The browser is our GUI. So our output window is 3D, our GUI is 3D, and our server responds to commands. Responds to commands. So we've actually got all the bits and pieces we need. So where do we start? I think, well, the GUI, we can do a quick one, a quickie with that, just by doing like a button that says exit. The GUI is just a control center. This is just a controller. The server will just have a set of commands that it can operate, and it can send you to other servers, obviously, and other web pages. Network pages. So, and that will become our network. Okay, so the more computers or the more servers that join a network, the bigger it can get. Now, I'm talking about planets up here, and I had the design somewhere over the rainbow. Designs were not made. It's not made on this one. Right, I must have done it the other day then. Never mind. So this is the kind of design that I want. And we've got to start small, otherwise it's not going to be manageable. I've already realised that. So I want to start at the base level. Now, the base construct for a map. Right, okay, let's just pop you up here. So that's that. So the base construct equals 10 meter by 10 meter square. What starting size should we go for? I think we should have a square of, say, what, 50 meters? I'm just taking something at random here. 50 meters. Oops. Got Control Z for that, I know. Yeah. 50 meters. And then let the user do what they want with it. So your map will be 50 by 50. And this is the point, because that's going to be your X, that's going to be your Y, and it's going to hold a float, and that equals your Z. No, it doesn't. I don't believe that. Rubber. That's your Z. There. Y equals height. There we go. So, this is the kind of design pattern I want to put in. We're going to start off with a 50 meter by 50 meter square with float map or whatever, some kind of structure for a map, and that 50 by meter square is going to be placed in a 1 kilometer square, somewhere near the centre will do. So our top left point here will not be 0, 0. This will be where it is on main map. And our main map focus will be where it is on the world map. So all we've done really is a Google Maps, where we've gone in, and magnified all the way down to a 50 by 50 meter area. And what we're going to do is we're going to put Bob here, in here somewhere. Actually, we'll put him down here somewhere. Now Bob will only be able to see 50 meters. So you'll also need the next map over on each side as well, or a little bit of it. So I would say half. So really you need 100 by 100. This should be 100 by 100. And you would take it from there, and Bob would not be able to... yeah, you get it anyway. And then you just move this square around. What Bob can see. We'll put him here. Okay, so he's at the centre of this, and then the square moves around. Well, actually, no, Bob stays there and the map moves around, is the actual truth. Now, because we have this kind of system, it means that we can set things. Okay. What this means now is that we can now, using this system here, we can set spawn points. I'll say fixtures and fittings because that's trees, bushes, all that lot. Fixtures and fittings. Rocks. Houses. Base template for a building will be a 10 by 10 meter square. Well, cube. To be quite honest with you, that will become the foundation. That will be set down, and then you can build upon that cube. It's a very simple idea because then you can use more 10 by 10 meters to make a bigger building. Each 10 meter by 10 meter square plot will cost 1,000 times a factor. The actual costing of it has all been worked out already. It's the factors. You'll see how that works when we get to it. That's all you need. Anything that moves, you will be told by the server. So any entities will be governed by the server. So your server rules where moving entities are. That information is passed on to your output, which then renders it into a 3D, and you put a big plus there with your spawn points and fixtures and fittings. That's it. The whole design. It's very simple, very straightforward. There's going to be not much messing around because really all we're going to be doing is making a struct. All of that will fit in a struct. So this, oh god, don't know what that does if I do that. That's a button I found. Struct. Now, because it's a struct of data, we get to what I want to talk about. And what I want to talk about is that. It came up this week. Databases are going to be one. No. Actually, I'll put the answer in straight away. No. It's not needed at all. What we are holding here in our hands, in front of you, on the screen right now, is data that, if handled correctly, will fit on the stack next to the chip without any problem. Or we can store it on the graphics card. Because remember, all of the entities, all the models for the entities will be stored on the graphics card. The entities themselves are just data points that build matrices to place a model in the world. That's all they are. And you don't need a lot. All you need to know is its position and its rotation. And that's it. And as long as you handle the data correctly, you're not going to have a problem. So, why? Data can be stored and, oh, that's a flash. Oh, God, that's lightning. Oh, damn it, I just switched my server on. Never mind. Data can be stored and retrieved faster by using text files. Unbelievable, but true. How much data will we actually be using? We will be using for each one entity equals a vec3 position plus a vec, if you do it properly, 3 rotation. That's equal to 6 floats. For each entity that's in the scene. And if you want a flock of seagulls, you can have a flock of seagulls. You could probably have 100 entities and it wouldn't even blink an eye. Because it's all the same model, isn't it? You can have as many entities per model as you like. That's irrelevant. Now, you're going to say, what about equipment? Well, that's a text file. What you're carrying is limited by weight. So there's a limit to the size of the text file. It's not unlimited. What about your bank box? It's a text file. It doesn't get read or written to very often or frequently. In fact, probably infrequently. Because you'll be more bothered about your bank account and the money going in and out. Which again is part of your character sheet, which is a text file. Which is referenced on startup and on save. There is no need for a database. You are not constantly drawing upon a database, although you may think you are. That is not happening. And I can prove it. Well, I think I can. I don't know if it's here or not, but we'll see if it is. Blades. There's me. Hello, Blades. I'll try this one, see if it'll come up. Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, right, okay. Right, let's find the database, shall we? Abilities, accounting, commands. Accounting sounds like a database. Oh, it isn't. Alright. Okay. That was a bad idea. Commands, no. Context menus, no. Gumps, items. Items sounds like a database. Oh, wait a minute. No, they're not. Oh. Yeah. Items are just text files. Oh, alright then. What about equipment? What about equipment? That's got to be a database, hasn't it? Armour. Armour. You need a database for armour, don't you? Look at all this armour. No database there, mate. Oh dear. Where's the database? Look at how much armour there is. Bit OTT. Good game though. That's what's running on my. This is what's running on my server right now. I know there's no database because I haven't put the database on. Resources. Oh yeah, resources. No database there. No database. No. Bad. No, those are all C# files. MISC. Mobiles. AI. Bosses. Even AI. Oh right. Okay. Factions named. Normal. Okay. What we got? Oh, right. Base mount. Beetles, birds. Oh, there's no database here. Oh, server. There's got to be a database here somewhere, aren't there? Menus, network. If we've got a database, it'll show up in the network, won't it? No, nothing there. Okay, let's have a look into all the spare bits here. Any MySQL stuff? No. DDD for database. DDD. No. Data. No. Nothing about data. Skills. There must be stuff on skills. Does that look like a database? There's your stats. So what's this? Oh, it's strength. There you go. It's stat code. Oh, okay. We're actually looking inside the file here. Right. Okay. That's not a database. No. That's good. That. Actually, I'll double click on that. It's easier. This is probably a good way of doing our character sheet, but very big but, it's not what I really want to be doing. Anyway, this is all done in Java. Any databases there? Well, there is. But you can't see it, can you? It's in here. There you go. There's your database. It's all in the map. File index map ID width height. And here we go through all the tiles. So these maps are made up of tiles, and each tile has its own statistics. Yeah, it's quite a lot of caching. You can see how they're doing it. No statics, default, no patch, yeah, okay, cache, statics, yeah, okay. Preload render block, yeah, so that's your batch. for rendering. Yeah, well, get a render block, yeah. But you can see you've got these triples, X, Y, Zs going on. And then we come into big tile, like static tiles. What's this other one here? Hued tile. And the tile, all the bits and pieces that make up a tile, or a point, as I call it. So there's quite a lot of information in that. And then it goes into X, Y, width, height, BMP. Well, we'll be using PNGs. An 8x8 block, yeah. And that's all the information it's carrying there. And then it's got statics, which means buildings or whatever. Items that don't move. They call them statics for some reason, because they don't move. Yeah, probably. And that's not actually true. It's not because they don't move. It's because they are GL static draw. That's the hint given to OpenGL to draw. Is GL draw? What is it? Yeah, GL static draw. That's the GL enum, and that's why they call them statics. So that's how they do it, and that's your database. And it's all calculated within the map. And it looks awful. Yeah. Okay. There's your database. Tile data. So it can be land data. Yeah. Land data, yeah. String, texture IDs, flags. A lot of use of flags will go on because flags are useful. Reading data, what the flags do. Wall, translucent, transparent, impassable, wet, unknown, surface, bridge, generic, window, no shoot, Arctic, foliage, partial hues, map, containers, wearables, light sources, animations, hover, unknown armor, roof, door, stare back. So yeah, you got a lot of flags for different things, can be switched on and off for one tile. There's your database. There isn't one. The database has been turned into a process because it's faster. In the old days, well, when this was originally brought out, yes, it did have a database. Because the computers that we used weren't big enough to hold all of this information at once. All of this information now takes up around about 10% of, no it isn't, it's about 17% of my memory on my server. 17%. And it's all of that stuff crammed in there. And it's not exactly written in a language that's small. It's written in C#, which is Java, JavaScript. To be quite honest with you, it's the same thing. But I hope that gives you an idea of where I'm headed, rather than some prat coming on stream and saying, oh, you've got to use a database and MySQL. No, you don't. I've already got a server running without it. Sorry, mate. But if you want to become a game programmer or anything like that, or you want to become a server programmer, stop thinking about databases. That's 25 years ago, 30 years ago, yes. Nowadays, no. Computers are slightly faster, maybe. Disk storage is slightly higher, maybe. Disk speed and access is possibly faster now than it used to be. Stop living in the past, people. Welcome to the future. And did I tell you? Amberskies, future of 3D, without a database. We can hold all the information that we need in memory. And if we can't fit it in the stack, we'll pop it over to the heap and access it as we want. Because accessing memory on the heap nowadays, well, it really isn't as slow as people say. It actually does take around about 20 to 30 nanoseconds, which is actually a long time in computer language. But when we're only aiming for 60 frames per second, simple graphics, 3D already held on graphics card, I think people misunderstand 3D as being slow, hard to get the frame rates and all the rest of it. Actually, 2D is harder. 2D is much harder. Once you get past 50,000 things, 2D grinds to a halt. If you've ever played something like Age of Empires or Civilization, Sid Meier's stuff, there becomes a point during the late game where your computer starts to slow down. And it's not because your computer's getting tired, it's because you're reaching the point of 2D where it starts to defeat itself. And because of that, the newer board games are written usually with 2.5D, using more potential from the graphics card to hold models and using simplistic type models instead of using sprites. It's actually faster to use a 3D model than it is to use a sprite nowadays. And this is why I can't understand why we have such a rubbish 2D internet. Oh well. Our graphics cards can do things a lot faster than our computers can do them. And our computers can do things a lot faster than they could 25 or 30 years ago. Now, I don't know who it was that came on. I didn't catch the name. I just ignored him in the end. But I'm very sorry to say, but they were a very ignorant person. And I hope they grow up and learn. But hey ho, if they want to have a say, a return, I'm quite happy to bring them on to Discord, and they can broadcast on my channel their thoughts about this subject, and we can let you decide. I don't mind. But at the end of the day, don't get bogged down in what was. Write your programs for the future, not for the past. That's all I'm going to ask of you. Be open-minded. Could you use a database? Yeah, of course you could. You'd slow your program down a hell of a lot by doing so. But yeah, of course you can. If you didn't mind the performance hit from it. If you're doing 2D, database is great. You can store all your maps in a database. When you're doing 3D, you can get away with a hell of a lot more than you think. Because 3D lends itself to this thing here that I've got at the bottom. That's one entity. 6 floats. The model's already stored, ready to go, ready to be placed on the screen in the blink of an eye. All you've got to do is give your graphics card 6 floats. In the correct format, of course. And whoosh, off it goes. Now, I'm going to be using Amber SL. Amberskies needs to be updated and upgraded. I already know that, and I'm going to leave it well alone until we get to the stage where I think it might be performance hit, but I don't think it will be actually. My last test on a slower computer, I think I maxed it out to about 2 seconds for a complex scene, but we haven't tested complex scenes yet, and I think at that point, when we do start testing complex scenes, you'll begin to understand, because there's things I'm going to show you which are really cheating. Well, they're not, because it's just that people don't tell you about it. That's why it's called cheating, I guess. What do you get free? So do you know what you get free? OpenGL. So if you look up OpenGL 3.3, what do you get? And that's what you should be looking at. You get a whole lot more than you think. So we'll see. We'll see if I can activate some of the hidden stuff. And if we can, we'll use it, because it's damned fast. I mean, it's on a chip on your graphics card. All we got to do is flick a few switches and switch the chip on. And wow, boom, things will happen. So this structure that I'm making isn't reliant on that, by the way. It's just we might be able to, because I'm using 3.3. How long 3.3 will be around is a different matter, or a different kettle of fish. If we're looking for the future, should we be going Vulkan? Why not? I mean, Vulkan is just Microsoft again. Which equals MS. I'm not going to disgrace myself by knowing how to spell it. Vulkan is Microsoft's version of OpenGL. And they have been very careful in bringing it out at a time when virtual reality is in its infancy. So they can now develop a type of OpenGL which will layer on top of DirectX and give you access to virtual reality. That's its goal. Is it worth using? I can't afford an MS license. Hell, I haven't received 1 penny since I started this channel, or my YouTube channel. I've not received 1 dime or 1 penny. It's all been free. So when it comes down to things like get a license and use this, that and the other, I can't. I haven't got any money to do it with. You know, I don't work, obviously. I'm not physically able to work, as you might have noticed. Right, so I think I bordered on a rant there, but I'll hand it over to anybody out there that thinks that databases must be used. I'll hand the mic over to them in a second, as soon as they get in touch with me, and we will do a stream and an interview or whatever, and they can have their say. And I think that's only fair. But as for me, the matter is now closed. I will not be using a database. What we will be using is a lot better than a database. We're going to be using the data itself. So there we go. Actually, just do that. Ooh, that does get a bit faded now. I like the system. I do like the system. So, that's what I was doing at 3 o'clock this morning. I've been through how stuff will possibly happen with me. I don't know. I've done my rant on databases, and I've offered the microphone to anybody who wants to come on and say yes, and then answer the word why. So if anybody wants to say yes and why, and be reasonable about it, then I'm quite happy to have an open mic for them. If they don't believe what I'm saying, that's fine. I mean, yeah, shrug. Come back in 5 years' time and talk to me about it. Vulcan, yeah, I'll touch on it. If you want me to brush over Vulcan very briefly, and DirectX and all that kind of stuff, I will, but I won't use it. DirectX is far superior to OpenGL, by the way. But it costs you a lot of money to use it. Yeah. Trust me on that one. I think really I've said anything from the chat. No. That's okay. I don't mind. Okay. Monday. What are we on now? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. So, Sunday, sailing. Ooh, don't do that. Come back in now. Ooh, yeah. So, what do we got? Get rid of you lot now. So, Sunday. I'm looking forward to it this Sunday, actually. We've got sailing. Come and join us. It's naval action. I think it's Windows. Steam. You'll find it on Steam. So, there you go. That's what Sunday is. Okay, I got mine free for doing the beta. So I earned mine for giving them happy suggestions. I never give a critique or a negative. Here's my rule. I'll put it at the bottom. Rule #1. Don't give done it again. Don't give problems. Only solutions. Okay? And that's what we're going to start with on Monday. So, starts Monday, we're having a rule. Don't give me any problems, just give me the solutions. That's all I need. I mean, I had a guy come on and say, oh, you're on the wrong channel. Well, that's giving me a problem. He didn't say what channel I should be on, or give me any hint on how to switch channel. He just came on, said that, gave me a bit of grief and pissed off. Well, thanks. Don't give me your problems. If you're going to do that, it's your problem, not mine. I'll take solutions, not problems, thank you. And I will only give solutions, I will not give problems. On Monday, I really do want to start on some kind of basic terrain. I mean, I've already got a basic terrain running, but it's not as useful as I would like it to be. I'm trying to think if there's going to be anything that I can do. Well, we need to have a look at what we've got. So evaluate what we have. That's a solution. It's not a problem. You see how easy it is to turn something into a positive. And then use this to create what we want. I'm going to call it a terrain mesh. I haven't named it yet, but that's the first time I've ever thought of anything. Okay. So, yeah. I think that's going to be a good start point. So I don't know how much coding we're going to get through on Monday, but the next 2 weeks we're going to focus on terrain and building up some kind of terrain mesh, testing it out and seeing if we can build anything. Anything with a door or something in it. We're going to spend a bit of time making like models. We'll have to. And as you know, we can drag models in galore very quickly and quite happily. So we're not going to have a problem with models. We've already solved that. We've already got the solution for models. So we already have models, don't we? So I called it a shelf. There we go. So that solution seems to be working okay at this point. We need to stretch it a little bit and broaden it and maybe have 2 shelves, 3 shelves, 4 shelves. And I think we should be able to develop this now into the non-game mode admin side, which will be creating a web page, basically, in 3D. So that's the aim. Admin user able to create, and this is within the program, not from outside, using something like Blender, although they can. And of course they can just go to the text file and add their models in. Why not? You don't have to use the models given, you can use any models you want. Admin is able to create an own web page. So they're actually going to be inside the web page when they're creating it. The admin user will have a cursor, not an avatar. I'll show you what I mean when I get there. I've nearly designed the cursor, but I haven't. It's a bit weird. I don't know which way I want to do it. I don't know whether I want to go with a particle. I don't know whether I want to go with a cursor. I'm going to have to test a couple of things, actually. Particle drops. Or a star type model. 2 boxes. or 3D box type thing, which would look like, oh god, I can't even draw that one. What have you got? You got a box that looks like that, and out of that box you then have to tilt it 45 degrees and 45 degrees, and that point would then go there. So you would have actually another box. Or you could just do it with 2 squares, couldn't you? Or 2D squares. So you'd have one like that's that way, and then you would have another one with the pointer bit coming out, so you'd have that type of idea with the pointer bits done right, and you can make like a star effect, which I can't draw. Even though I'm in a freehand blooming drawing program, like a star. I can draw, but I'm just not. I haven't thought about it in my head properly. It's a 3D octagram. 3D octagram. I think I said most of the ideas are still jangling around in my mind. So there's a 1,000,001 different ideas of what I could do here, there, and everywhere. But at the moment, I wouldn't mind trying the particle one out. But would it be accurate enough? Well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because you can click on things. Oh. I haven't spoken about that yet. How do you click on things in the GUI? You love it. You love it. Yeah. Right. I think I'm done for today anyway. Any questions? Any questions? I mean, I've written a load of rubbish on the screen, but I'm done. I'm done for now. I mean, how much rubbish have I written now? God help us. It usually turns out to be a hell of a lot. When I go on a ramble. Yeah, it's bordering on stupidity now, isn't it? There's too much information. So I'm going to have to boil this down at the bottom and sieve out the base idea here, which is this Monday bit. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And I really do like that. That bit there. Well, didn't work. There. Okay. So if you take anything away with you from this video, it's be positive. When you're coding and you're coming across what you may think to be a problem, usually isn't a problem. It's just that you are not approaching it in the correct way, or you may be looking at it wrongly. There aren't any coding problems. All it does is shift data around and manipulate data and then display data. That's all you're doing. You're not doing anything more. So there are no problems. I mean, you'll say, oh, but there's design patterns and all the rest of it. Yeah, there are. Make your own. Nothing's stopping you. How do you think those design patterns came about? Because people thought, oh, that's a problem. I'll go and find out how to solve it. No. They said, oh, that's different. Let's try this. yeah, 2 ways of approaching life in general. So I'll leave it at that, and I'm going to let you get on with your weekend, and I hope you're going to join me in naval action tomorrow for a little bit of sinking. Usually me. And I just want you to, god damn it, just have fun. Catch you later.